Hey, welcome back. So, you just went through the radical truth test, and I'm guessing your report wasn't exactly comfortable reading. Some of what you saw probably hit closer home than you expected it to, right? And that's okay, actually. That's exactly how this is supposed to work. Because radical truth isn't about making you feel good, it's about showing you what's actually happening beneath the surface that you couldn't quite see before. So here's what I've noticed over the years. Most people read a report like this, they close it and think, interesting. And then nothing changes. But you're still here, which tells me you're actually ready to do something with what you've just learned. So let's talk about that. What can happen next for you? See, your report just broke down five specific areas of your financial life using Dalio's framework of radical truth. First, it looked at your goals, whether they're actually clear and actionable or if they're just vague ideas you keep dreaming of and thinking about, but never quite get down to uh, achieving. Then it examined the problems you're experiencing, the surface level symptoms that are showing up in your day to day life. After that came the diagnosis. And this is usually the part that surprises people because the root cause is almost always something completely different from what you thought the problem was. Then it analyzed your design, whether the approach you're taking on a day to day basis would actually solve that root cause. And if you're just treating the symptoms and hoping for the best, that someday everything will work out. Finally, it looked at your execution, whether you're measuring real progress with actual numbers or just kind of hoping things work out. On top of that, your report showed you the pattern you're stuck in, the illusions that keep that pattern in place, which of Dalio's principle you might be violating without realizing it, and what your next 90 days could look like with specific metrics. Now, some of that was probably pretty direct, and that's intentional because this whole thing isn't designed to comfort you, it's designed to show you reality clearly enough that you can actually do something about it. Remember what I mentioned in the first video about Dalio's equation? Pain plus reflection equals progress. Well, you felt the pain. That's what actually brought you to this test in the first place. The report you just read, that's the reflection part. Now comes the progress and action part. But that only happens if you take action on what you just learned. Now, there are three kinds of people. And so you've got also three ways to move forward from here. And I'll walk you through each one so you can pick what makes the most sense for you right now. The first option is what I call a radical clarity call with me. It's a 60 minutes call, it's completely free, and there's no sales pitch or any kind of hard sell at the end of that call. We get on a call together, we walk through your report line by line, and I help you see what you might still be missing that the report couldn't fully capture on its own. You ask whatever questions you need to ask about the report. We get clear on what's actually keeping you stuck, and you walk away with clarity on your specific situation. Right? Just no pressure, no pitch, just understanding where you are and how you can move forward from your current financial situation for the better, of course. The second option is something I created called the money leaks detector, and it's just $2.99 and it's yours with immediate access. Here's why this particular AI tool exists. Now, I've worked with hundreds of professionals earning over 30, 40, 50, 80 lakhs, 1 crore plus, and almost all of them are bleeding at least between 20,000 to 40,000 every month without even realizing it. It's the Netflix subscription and gym memberships that they aren't even using, some SaaS tool they tried once and thought they'd use more but never got around to canceling, my script subscription for example, and a lot of such obvious and not so obvious leaks, like the hidden bank fees, charges, interest on your loans, and things like those, which you don't get to see on an obvious budgeting app and stuff like that. So, before you start investing, it's very important to understand how do you actually currently manage your money. And the money leaks detector helps you do that. The third option is the complete calm well system, a 90-day system with full implementation. So your report diagnoses what's actually keeping you stuck, right? Now this system implements the solution. And I do it with you hand in hand. It uses the same 5-step Dalio framework you just went through in test, but now we apply it specifically to your constraints, your timeline, your actual life situations, not some generic template that assumes everyone's situation is the same. So this is, framework which isn't theory or information; it's execution with actual metrics. So you know whether you're making real progress or you're just staying busy and working on a financial treadmill. And here's something I've noticed over the years working with people on their wealth systems: the people who actually make changes, they do it within 48 hours of having their aha moment. And it's not because I would like to create some fake urgency or using countdown timers or any of that stuff. It's because once you clearly see the pattern you're stuck in, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it, right? Something shifts internally and you just want to move forward. I've worked with doctors, consultants, IT professionals, CAs, responsible people who are already doing most of the things right. Their reports, uh, you know, bring out the obvious contradictions as you've just experienced, and then they start to work on correcting course, building a systematic investment plan, and 18 months later, or 15 months, 1 year later, the results are pretty obvious. Not because they suddenly started earning dramatically more, but because they stopped, uh, you know, working cross purposes from their goals. So here's where you are right now: pain plus reflection equals progress. You've done the pain part, you went through the exercise, you felt the pain, and you came here. And that's why you took this test, right? So you've done the reflection part. The report just gave you your reflection and where you're uh, stuck. What happens in the next 48 hours determines whether this becomes actual progress or just another interesting thing you read and then forgot about. So, your report already told you some hard truths. Potential without execution doesn't mean much. We all know that. Moving fast is good, but discipline is what actually creates results. So, you know what needs to happen here. The real question is just, are you going to do something about it? The three options I mentioned are right below this video. Pick whichever one makes sense for where you are. There's no pressure. You can choose to just keep the report with you and reflect on it and act on it. And honestly, I think you will do that. Thanks for trusting me with your time. I'll see you soon.